This is the Motorola Edge 60 Pro, and if you're looking for a new Android phone, or in fact, let's be honest guys, if you've had enough of the iPhone, and I know some of you have because you keep leaving messages like that on my comments threads, then you shouldn't look past this phone. There's actually three versions. There's the 60 Pro, which is this one, which is $599. There's the Edge 60 Fusion, which is this one, that's $299, and in the middle we have the Edge 60, which is $379. So they're all three very well priced phones. I'm not going to go into loads of detail about all three phones in this review, but if you're just looking for a reason to buy this phone, I'll come on to that. You need to think about this one. Okay, I'm not going to go through all the specs because you don't need me to do that. There's loads of details out there already about these phones. However, the Edge 60 Pro does have some specs which don't really match up to the price in a very good way. So it's running the MediaTek Dimensity 8350, which isn't the latest MediaTek flagship chip, but it doesn't need to be because this isn't a flagship phone and it's a very good chip. It's got 12 gig of RAM, which is enough for anyone, enough for AI and all that sort of stuff. It's got 512 gig of storage, which again, is enough for most people, and it has a 6,000 milliamp hour battery, which gives you 2 days of battery life, which in my experience is definitely on the money. 90 watt wired charging, which gives you 50% charge in 15 minutes, very, very useful, and 15 watt wireless charging. They're the specs that matter. I'll come on to the other bits in a second, but if you're looking for a phone which costs less, way less than £1,000, $1,000, with great specs, the display is a 6.7-inch OLED panel with a 120Hz. You know all this stuff, guys. It's got a really fast refresh rate, much faster than the iPhone 16. Sorry, Apple. And it also has 4,500 nits of peak brightness, a 300Hz. I'm reading out the specs, aren't I? Why am I doing that? Just look at it. It is a beautiful display. We have reached a point with Android phones where most of the displays are utterly fantastic, and this one on the Motorola Edge 60 Pro is particularly lovely. It's really vibrant, it's massive, it's got curved edges, which I know some people don't like. It's definitely worth mentioning that in case you've got a kind of curved edge phobia, which I understand. I haven't got it personally, but if that's you, then there you go. And it's so bright. It's so legible outdoors, even in bright sunlight, which we sometimes get in the UK and we have at the moment. So I've been testing this in the summer and it's great. The screen, fantastic. The specs, brilliant. Let's get on to what's next. Oh yeah, the build, durability and design. This is like a traditional smartphone review. I've gone backwards in the best way possible. Now, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I completely get that, but I think you'd be hard-pressed to argue against the fact that the colour choices, in particular from Motorola, are lovely. Now, they've teamed up with Pantone, who know their colours, basically, and the result is this. And what I love about this is that I will get to that. There are so many boring smartphones out there, really dull, greys and whites and blacks and just fairly dour colour choices, and you don't get many choices. That's the problem. These are two examples of those colours. There are a few more to choose from, which we'll put on the screen now, but they are just so vibrant. I love this one in particular on the Fusion. We'll put what colour it is down here. I also love the fact they don't have slippy rears, which means they don't fall out of your hands very easily, whereas an iPhone, for instance, or many other phones on the market are very slippery. These aren't. I've been walking around with the Edge 60 Pro, and this is quite a big phone. Let's not beat around the bush. It's a big device. However, you can use it one-handed because you don't feel like it's going to slip out of your hand at any stage, which is fantastic. It also has IP68 and IP69 water and dust resistance. The IP69 thing is something to do with high pressure water jets, which if you come into contact with them regularly, who knows, then you're safe basically. It also has military grade certification. It's got MIL STD 810H. Must mean you can do that and not worry about it. And it only weighs 186 grams, which you can definitely feel. It's also 8.2 millimeters thin or thick, and bearing in mind we're kind of entering an era of thin phones, you know what I'm referring to, this feels very thin. And they're not making a massive deal about it either. It's just part of the phone. And it's a lovely design. It's quite understated, I think. I don't think Motorola, apart from the colours, although even the colours they're not too brash, they're just lovely. I think Motorola gets the fact that a lot of people just want a smart looking phone, and that's what you get. Right, let's talk about these, and while I'm talking about the camera system, I'll show you some random photos I've taken with the Edge 60 Pro. It has a triple camera setup, a 50 megapixel main camera, a 50 megapixel ultra wide with macro capabilities, and a 10 megapixel telephoto with 3 times optical zoom and up to 50 times super zoom. The main camera and the telephoto have optical image stabilization, but the ultra wide doesn't, worth bearing that in mind. The front facing camera is a 50 megapixel unit with a quad pixel tech thing built into it. It's a really good camera system. Now, it isn't flagship because you're not paying flagship pricing, are you? You can't expect 5 times optical zoom. That's the main thing really that you're missing. Aside from that, this takes really good photos to the point where it's not far off flagship quality in terms of that. In fact, does this even matter? No, probably not, because most people who buy this camera will love the photos that come out of it, because you press that white button, it grabs the image and it does it quickly. There's no shutter lag. It just takes the photo and it does it accurately as well. Like the photos that you're looking at now, this is a very accurate representation of what I saw when I was in that situation. So it's accurate, it's fast, and the crucial thing as a dad is that it can capture my 3-year-old son well, really well. He's sharp, trust me, this guy does not stop moving, and it's the ultimate test for any phone, and the Edge 60 Pro smashed it. It has Google integration as well, so it has Magic Eraser, Unblur, Magic Editor, Sky Replacement, all the AI stuff that you'd expect. And I'm not going to go into loads more detail on the camera system because I don't need to. It just does such a good job, again, for the price. And it shoots up to 60 frames per second 4K video. What more do you need? That's a bit of a theme in this review, to be honest, because I don't think you need much more than this offers. When it comes to performance, what more can I say about mid-range smartphone performance these days? It just feels like flagship performance. It really does. I know this doesn't have the latest flagship MediaTek chip in it, but it doesn't need it. And if you want a phone that, I don't know what people do on flagship phones that requires all of that headroom at all. It's not me. I wouldn't know where to start with that. If that's you, in fact, if that is you, you're probably not watching this video. If you're watching this video and you just want a really clean user experience, a fast user experience, and one that doesn't lag or crash, then this is brilliant. It really is. And the key thing is, it's a near stock version of Android 15. Motorola are very careful with the way that they customize Android. It's not chock full of bloatware, basically, and things that you have to uninstall and get rid of before you can start using it properly. And it looks like Android. It doesn't look completely unusual and different and confusing. It's very familiar. It has Moto AI as AI. Why can't I say AI? It has Moto AI, which is Motorola's take on artificial intelligence, obviously. Now, I'm not a big AI. Why is it so hard to say AI? I'm not a big AI user on smartphones. I never have been. It impresses me, and the fact we have all this stuff, like, we've got an image studio, we've got a playlist studio, we've got the ability to take cool recordings and have them transcribed, and we've got Catch Me Up and Search and all this stuff built into Moto AI. What I like about Moto AI is the fact actually that it's Motorola's own version of that. So you can have Gemini running on this, obviously, but you can keep everything within Moto AI if you want to. So it's all there. We also get 4 years of security updates, which is lovely. I'm going through a completely random list of things here with performance. Stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos. I know that matters to people in terms of getting stereo speakers, and the Dolby Atmos thing, we have a Dolby Atmos logo there, which you definitely can't see, but it's there, trust me. And it has Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.3, NFC, dual SIM support. It's got everything. The one thing though that I love, is it performance? It's usability, I suppose, is the gesture control. Most smartphones have some form of gesture control built in. Sometimes it's just within the accessibility settings, like on the iPhone, for instance. Motorola has really gone for it. And there's 2 that I'm going to show you today, which I love. The first one you've seen already in this video. It's this. 2 shakes and the torch is turned on and turned off. It's very satisfying and very useful. The other one is this. Into the camera system. 2 twists. I use it all the time. Again, something useful, not a gimmick. In terms of negative points, because no phone is perfect, obviously, two things to bear in mind. The first one I've mentioned already, which is the display being curved. Doesn't bother me, but I know that bothers some people. It's only a very gentle curve, to be fair, but it's definitely worth considering if that's not your thing. I'm not sure why that's the case. In fact, let me know in the comments, why don't you like curved displays? Secondly, the camera system. I'd love to go beyond 3x optical zoom. A 5x optical zoom would be fantastic. However, I appreciate that is a flagship feature at the moment. We don't get that in the mid-range part of the market. It just means that beyond 3x, it's a little bit limited because you're relying on digital zoom beyond that and AI and all that sort of stuff. And unless the conditions are perfect, it's not going to be the best image in the universe. That's it though. I can't really think of any other downsides about these phones. And if you don't want to get the 600 quid Pro, which is still a very good price, you can go right down to the Fusion, which yes, has a few lesser specs and stuff like that. But to be honest, it feels very, very similar. It still looks lovely. Motorola, please keep doing your thing. Over to you now, guys. I want to know in the comments section what you think of the Motorola Edge 60 series. Get involved. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you know what to do.